I also help out with the Applied Texas Counselor Suite and the actual website itself. All things college access related that come through the coordinating board, I have a hand in. And today you're here so we can talk about GenTech specifically and to talk about Decision Day that's coming up on May 3rd. So I'm going to share my screen so that you don't see my face the whole time and you actually see some informational slides. And so, like I said, we are going over Generation Texas. I use GenTX. I will probably say GenTX a million times and stop saying Generation Texas because it's just the shorthand for it and it's just easier for us and it's part of our logo. So wanted to get that out ahead of time so no one's confused about what I mean when I say GenTX. So what is GenTX? So GenTX is a statewide public awareness campaign to promote college access and success. GenTech supports national efforts to including the American College Application Campaign, or ACAC, and the Reach Higher initiative. GenTech is aimed to support high school students, especially first generation and underrepresented students, in order to increase college attainment. So here are some activities that we do throughout the year. We start our year with Why Apply Day, and it's usually in September, and it kicks off our campaign season. During the social media campaign led by ACAC, which again is the American College Application Campaign, we encourage people to share why it is important to apply to college. Then we head into GenTech Month, which is held every year in November. During this time, counselors and school districts are encouraged to host application and FAFSA drives. There are toolkits and other resources that school staff can find on our GenTech website to help them plan and promote these events. During this time, we usually run a competition to encourage participation and provide packages for those schools who sign up. The packages contain I Applied stickers and GenTech swag. We also started participating in Financial Literacy Month, which is nationally recognized in April. GenTech has provided Twitter chats, checklists, and other social media campaigns for both students and counselors during this month. And then what we're all here for today is to discuss GenTech Decision Day. And this is the time to recognize and celebrate students for their post-secondary plans. So let's go into it a little bit further. What exactly is GenTech Day? Well, for those who aren't familiar, this is a time for you to recognize your high school seniors for their post-secondary plans and promote a college-going culture within your community. This year, GenTech Decision Day will be held on May 3rd. We know not everyone can celebrate on May 3rd. Every school looks different, every calendar looks different. So we encourage everyone to find some time in the month of May to celebrate Decision Day. Decision Day is in partnership with American College Application Campaign and Reach Higher. In past years, schools have put together pep rallies, brought in guest speakers, had students wear their school choice gear to school, created a wall announcing every student's school choice. So maybe right now you're thinking, I have a lot going on. Why should I host a Decision Day event? The first and most important factor is that these students have had it rough during COVID. We've all had it rough, right? So they should be celebrated in their decision to go to college. The second most important thing is that this is usually when you find out what students have not tied up any of their loose ends for enrolling to college in the fall, and allows you to follow up with them. We've seen application and FAFSA numbers lower over the last year. So this is a great time to remind students and follow up with those students who have not finished their college applications and or their FAFSA/TAFSA. Now you're probably thinking, okay, maybe I can do this, but what exactly is required for me? Honestly, all we want is for you to recognize all students for their post-secondary plans. Involve as many people in your community as you can and have fun with it. It can be as big or as small as you need, depending on the resources you have available and the time you have to dedicate it. So how to get started? First, I need you to register and fill out the GenTech event survey. I have included a QR code in the bottom of the slides for y'all to easily access the survey. The survey is also on our website, so you can easily click that as well. Then take an inventory of your resources. What kind of social media accounts do y'all have? Video conferencing accounts, giveaways, contact lists, college center websites, etc. Create a communication plan Involve school staff, parent groups, admission advisors. Admission advisors love to participate in these events, by the way, and give great giveaways. And make sure you also include any community leaders. They usually love mayors, city council members. They love to be involved in these kind of events as well. You should also check out the gentex.org website, as we have several resources within our Decision Day downloads that you will find helpful. And there we have media releases, we have different tips and ideas for you to host events. And if you have, they're all updated every year, so they're good to go right now. And then Decision Day during COVID. So Decision Day looks a little different. As I said earlier, I'm used to seeing big pep rallies. We had a huge Central Texas Decision Day pep rally. I know San Antonio usually has one, and so does Houston. Houston goes into, I think, where the Houston Rockets play, and they actually fill it with all their school districts normally. Obviously, that's just not a thing right now during COVID. So a lot of schools are moving into virtual Decision Day events. And here are a few tips that we've seen that worked in the past for you to go virtual. Try hosting a Facebook Live event. Have fun with it. Consider making a theme of the live event. An example is a red carpet, draft day, movie premiere, or oh, the places you'll go themes. Announce local scholarship winners during these live events. Raffle off prizes to students who participate in events. Gather items students could use in college and put together bundles you can mail out to the winners. Post video interviews from past students who are currently in college or who are recent college graduates. Promote your event by posting Throwback Thursday photos from school staff from their college days and ask them to include a helpful tip to share with the seniors. That last one can be done a week before your decision day, and you can just post a couple of pictures a day or over the 2 weeks. It doesn't actually have to be on decision day. I've seen a lot of school districts do this last year, and a lot of the students loved it because who doesn't like to see their science teacher or their math teacher back in the 80s or 90s looking all retro. So those were really big hits from last year, and I highly promote those ideas. So here's just a little glimpse of some of the activities over the years. On the left, you see GenTX month, and that's some of the submissions we've had. In the center, you see more of the actual decision day. They have, you know, the Texas State Bound. That's actually my cousin from last year. Just shout out to her. We have Bobcats going through our family. And they just make those announcements on social media, and they tag us, and they use our hashtags, and that's how we're able to find them. And then in the top right, you see that us at the coordinating board, we don't just promote this. We don't just ask for counselors and for students to participate. We participate ourselves. So that is actually us participating in Why Apply Day. And then lastly, this is where you can find GenTX. So gentex.org, that is the website. So you can find all kinds of resources to download and to help you host an actual event. And then that's where you can find us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube. We do ask that you tag Generation Texas on all your social media posts and events. And we ask that you also use the hashtag GenTX and hashtag Decision Day 2021 when promoting all of your events on social media. And that's it, quick, short, and to the point. Again, my name is Lisa Paiz at the coordinating board, and I work with Generation Texas.
I'm going to turn my video back on, and luckily the dogs have decided now it's sleepy time. Thank you so much, Lisa. I did see there was a recommendation of creating like a college wall or a after graduation wall. And I remember that was something that my school did for us in the halls of the school. It was our senior photos, our names, and what our plans were after graduation. So it's exciting to see things like that still happening. What we wanted to do today is honestly just to have like an open, well, first let me ask if there are any questions. Feel free to unmute yourself, turn your video on. You can also type questions in the chat. We will be sharing the link to register as well as the website for GenTX Day. It has been in a few of our Tuesday emails, and it'll go out after this session. But we would love to use this to brainstorm and to come together as a community of educators on what you do at your school or what you would like to do this year to celebrate all of your students. All of your students who are doing things after graduation are, you know, especially in this time of COVID, they just deserve like an extra high five, pat on the back. I don't know what, it's been a crazy year, and we would love to hear what you have done or are planning to do, as well as any questions. If you have an idea of what you want to do but aren't sure how to do it, maybe someone else does it at their school, and we can come together and really support all students in Texas. I used to be a high school science teacher, so I'm very comfortable with crickets. I am not in Texas, but I can go first and share what my baby cousin's school is doing for her, because here in the Seattle area, schools are still virtual and will continue to be virtual through the end of the year. So what her community did is all of the teachers, high school staff, administrators, everyone at her high school came together at the school in the parking lot, and the students or their parents decorated their cars and drove past the high school, while all the educators cheered them on, had signs that said congratulations. They had a photographer there to take pictures of the different decorated cars. And some of the students who know where they're going in the fall decorated the cars in the colors of their future college. Others just decorated it with class of 2021. And it was a really exciting thing for me because my baby cousin asked me to be in the car with her and celebrate with her. And that was something that her high school did, not at the district level, just her school. And I thought that was such a great way to give each student one-on-one attention, even if it was from afar. So we have a question that says, I'm interested if anyone is doing a virtual college wall, and if so, what platform they're using. That is a great question. Anyone have any idea? Anyone already have plans on how they'll celebrate their students?
Hi, I'm Sandra Esquivel. I run the Go Center Mentor Program. So I work with a lot of different high schools, and a couple of things that we've done in the past, but we're doing as a university is we're doing a drive-through event. So the students will come by and we have the cheerleaders out, we have a DJ going. And so we have the Go Center mentors posted right as the car pulls up. We get the name of the student, what high school they go to, and the DJ announces them. Here's rolling in, Sandra from blah, blah, blah. And the crowd goes wild. We give them a swag bag with t-shirts and a usually a sign for them to put in their yard. And we get the mascot out, and we've had parents who said, can I just pull over and take pictures? And it's been a really great turnout, and we've done it around Dallas-Fort Worth. So we're not just stuck in our university, and it's turned out really well. And we kind of got that idea from some other schools doing similar things as you mentioned, Danielle, that somebody was doing. And so I think it's just getting creative and having fun with it.
I think that's great. I mean, when I was in college, we got free t-shirts and swag bags all the time. It's always fun. Young people love free stuff. I love free t-shirts. Free swag's always fun.
So this is Samantha. Just one of the things, I'm actually at a community college, but I've seen a couple of high schools around the city that are able to have events like sports events, or there's a few more things happening now that when a senior either comes up to bat or they announce their name, they're also announcing, you know, what college they're going to. So they're getting a little recognition, and the community is hearing that their kids are going to college. So just a thought.
Yes, definitely. That is, I mean, it's a great way to recognize students, and it's now that we do have sports here as well, but without spectators, but they're often being, you know, streamed on YouTube, and it's a great way to just, you know, acknowledge the hard work students have done. I love that.
Well, and I love the fact that it helps the lower classmen hear that their peers are going to college, right?
Mhm.
I think we just don't announce that enough for our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors to say, hey, Danielle, wow, I knew Danielle and she went to college. So I think,
Yeah.
you know, peers make a difference and can really help us in promoting a college culture.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the peer-to-peer connection is so robust, and you know, we joke even at Get School that our social media personality is very recently out of college, and it's like, well, yeah, students want to hear from him more than me. I'm been out of college for some time. I was wondering if we have anyone from Dallas ISD on the call, because I did find that on the district website, they've been collecting, have you applied to college? We want to hear about it, because they want to celebrate on their district's virtual acceptance wall. And I know we've had some questions about a virtual college wall, and I just looked that up, and that is just an awesome thing that the district is doing.
I'm not in Dallas, but I'm over in Fort Worth ISD. And so our district is kind of doing the same thing. So every high school is required to post on social media, basically our decision day. And we're supposed to like have certain hashtags. And so over at my school, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take their senior pictures that they took earlier this year, and then I'm going to include the logo of the college they're attending, or if they're going into the workforce, because we have quite a few that are just doing that after high school, include like a logo for that, and then their name. And then we are also going to have a on-campus, basically signing day, a socially distanced on-campus signing day, for the students to come onto campus, sign a poster where the college logo is, and then have their pictures kind of going in the background, the school fight song, and the school logo as well. So a little celebration for them. They expressed a lot of interest on just coming to campus once to celebrate something, since they don't have, you know, prom, or they didn't have a lot of their other normal activities.
Mm-hmm. Is anyone doing anything or interested in doing something with the larger community? I do have seen locally, especially in smaller communities, local businesses getting involved and doing like parades. I mean, not now, but you could plan like a drive-through, like drive down Main Street. We did that when I was younger, but my town has gotten much too big. I wonder if we have any smaller communities or even larger ones that have integrated local community members, mayor, small business owners, anything like that. Lisa, I just saw your note, and that sounds great.
I was vigorously trying to find the websites, and then I just decided, you know what, I just will follow up with you guys. But I know that they did that last year, because last year they were all virtual. They either created an actual Go Center website, because a lot of the high schools didn't actually have their College Center websites already developed. And so the advisors took it upon themselves to do that. And then they used it as a way to promote Decision Day. They also used it as a follow-up of, hey, contact your advisor. Hey, here's some follow-up information. So creating those websites, if your high school does not have it already, is a great resource.
Does anyone have any ideas on how to include all students? I did see a lot of the college walls. One, they use the word college, which has connotations for a lot of young people. And although like we can change that, it you know, it takes time and understanding. But also, when I look at some of these college walls, they're like, send us your, you know, a picture of you with your acceptance letter. And I'm wondering if anyone has any ideas of things that they have done or want to do, plan to do, that include students that are doing other things after graduation, such as military, technical, vocational school, or how you work with your students to include those successes in these celebrations. And this is coming from a military family. So I was actually first generation college, because my brothers all went Army after graduation, which was super exciting. And I was so proud of them. I see we have a chat that says we plan to do a military signing day, probably virtual, that includes the recruiters. I think that is awesome. That's including the community for sure. And I would be interested to hear like how that goes for you and how your students, I hope they feel super celebrated. Does anyone's school not have plans yet? Like you're not quite sure what you're going to do to celebrate your students? Looking for ideas?
Well, no, we're looking for ideas. I did hear some of the ones that you guys have just shared. We this will be our first year having a signing day for our seniors, and so I kind of like listen to some of the things that you have, and I like some of those ideas. So it's something that we're going to implement. But we, as a committee, we have not started planning it, so that's something that we're going to be looking forward to doing so pretty soon. But we have kind of decided that, of course, we were going to have it in May. Our students actually graduate June 12th. So if you guys can keep the ideas flowing, I am writing them down and I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Natasha. I was just thinking, I actually pulled up one of our toolkits. So if you go to the GenTX.org website, there's a virtual decision day guide. And I realized that not everyone has the same equal resources. And so we do offer like a list of low tech ideas. So let's say your district's really strict on social media and how you share that information. That happens, we understand that. And so there's a couple of low tech ideas, and what Danielle shared earlier about like a drive-through, we have that option in there. We saw a lot of that last year as well. It's actually just a fun way to get the kids out of their house, one, if they're still at home, and to get their parents involved. And what parent doesn't like to just promote their kid and cheer on their kid? So those things were really interesting and fun, and because free stuff. Like free stuff is always a big deal too. So if you can talk to those recruiters, those admissions officers, get them involved. They're usually going to mail you stuff or show up and drop off stuff at your school, and you can actually make little swag bags for the students. And so all the Texas State people get a swag bag that's Texas State related, UT, and so on and so forth. And it's really cool when they get shirts or they get banners or folders, whatever the little gear is that they get from their actual school. And since they've made the commitment to the school, they're more likely to actually send you the gear. But I highly recommend you go onto our website. We have so much information on there. The other planning guide that we have listed on there as well, and you can download it as a PDF or a Word document. That one is long. I will warn you now. When you open it, it's a lot, but there's a table of contents. So like you can just go straight to what you're actually looking for. If you're looking for tips on how, ideas, or if you're looking for press release information, or maybe you're looking more for, we also do like checklist. So like if you want to promote that to your seniors, hey, have you done your housing contract? Have you set up a banking account? Stuff like that. That's also available on our website.
Thank you.
So in the chat, Ruby shared an idea can be to find either small businesses or businesses around their campus who are willing to give something free or a discount if they show their admission decision letter on May 1st. This could be a list of businesses or just 2 to 3. I think that is a great idea. In our community growing up on college day, May 1st, if we went to a business, there were a bunch. Again, I was in a smaller town. We could get a free donut, free coffee. We got like 25% off at Subway. We got a free rose at the grocery store from the florist. Like there are such great ideas. I think it involves your community. And what I loved about ours was it was any letter of intent after graduation. So it could be your recruitment document for the military. It could be your acceptance letter to the local community college, acceptance letter to a 4-year university. And there was no difference. It was all open, free and discounted things. And it was almost like a little scavenger hunt for my friends and I. And I think that's a really great idea. And it celebrates the successes of your community as a community, which I just think, thank you so much, Ruby. That's great. So Lisa, I will continue to stay on. If there's any more ideas or questions, there have been questions about the PowerPoint. We will send the PowerPoint and the link to the toolkit that Lisa was talking about after the webinar to all Future Focus Texas participants, as well as if you registered or participated. And I would love to see people sign up for GenTX Day with Lisa and her team to commit to do something, even if you don't know what you're going to do yet. They have really great resources and ideas in the toolkit, and I think coming together as a state to celebrate all students in lots of different ways is just so exciting all the time, and a little extra exciting after this virtual year of learning that has been very challenging for many students. Oh, cute. Okay, someone said there's a social media challenge that states how hashtag, is it Ruby? Ruby, you are full of great ideas. Hashtag how it started and hashtag how it's going, and seniors show a senior photo and a freshman photo, and then a picture of their decision, and they add the campus hashtags. I love that. I think also students love throwback photos. And I know there is a trend on social media for senior Sundays where you show a photo of your senior year or a senior photo on Sundays. But I love the idea of like your first day of school freshman year and then like your decision senior year. That's how it started, how it's going. That's a great idea. If the school could share those photos on the website in some sort of like slideshow, that would also be a really great way to highlight each student. Depending on how many kids you had. I graduated in a class of almost 1,000. I think that's such a great idea, Ruby. You were just like, just rocking it this morning. So Yvonne just shared the link to accept the GenTX Day Challenge if you want to sign up. Again, Lisa can explain more of what signing up entails, but there's no cost. It's just that you are committing to do something to celebrate your students and their decisions after graduation.
Yeah, the survey is really quick and easy, and it's not meant to be painful. It's just us wanting to know who you are, where you're going to host your event, how many students you expect. It's not exact numbers. You say, hey, we have about 800 seniors, so we expect about 800 seniors to attend our event. And that's really it. If you participated in GenTX month and you just didn't send in that information either, we'd love for you to send in that information at that time. And we use it, one, to collect who's doing events, who can we promote, who can we look up on social media and reshare so that you guys can get attention. We also do our own press releases, and we've actually had the commissioner on local news stations that promote Decision Day. And so if we know anybody ahead of time that's doing events, we love for the commissioner to just name drop and go ahead and promote you guys there too. Name drop during our newsletters, and then we usually do something on our GenTX website to just celebrate the fact that you guys are participating with us. And occasionally we do giveaways, but seeing how we're not in the office and I can't get to the mailing situation, that's held off right now. But the fact that we do little call outs and we do name drops, we try our best to just kind of promote you guys across the state as well.
Okay, that's all I've got. And the dogs are now awake from their nap, so it's almost perfect timing. Again, we will send out the PowerPoint and your URL to accept the challenge, as well as the links to the toolkit. If you think of any more great ideas or things that you're doing to celebrate your students, please feel free to send them to us. Our contact information is on futureFocusTexas.org. And we would love to share that. We'd love to highlight you, your school. GenTX would love to highlight you, your school, what you're doing, and really celebrate all students. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.